Oh, g'day, all you wonderful people out there. How are we all tonight? It's a bit stinky in here, but anyway, we'll let that one go. So, listen, guys and girls, before I get on to all the official stuff, we've got a heap of people already logged in. Liz, Harrison, g'day, mate. Mark, Nicholas, Joel, Dave. Look, guys, whack your postcodes in early because we'll do the postcode prize early, but I have to give a couple of shout outs. My first shout outs, this is episode number 12, and the first time I've had to do any personal shout out. So my second eldest son turns 19 today, so happy birthday, Geordie. Enjoy your last year as a teenager, mate, because the world gets all real after this. And second of all, I have a get well to go out to the handbrake. About an hour ago, she was rushed up to hospital and had a massive migraine and a bit of an attack. So she's up in the hospital at the moment. So Nikki, I know you'll if you're in the waiting room, you'll be on there watching. Get well. I will see you in a couple of hours after you've had all of your checkups done. G'day, everyone. The postcodes are coming in. All right, let's all of that aside, let's get the guys in. We have Joey Allen and Jono Bigsump. G'day, gentlemen. How are we tonight? Oh, hang on. I've muted your cameras. Let's go with this.
There now?
Nah, we're on now.
Yeah, good.
How we going, guys?
Good, thanks. Well. Real good.
All good, all good. Thanks for coming on, chewing the fat. We will chew as much fat as what we can tonight. But the main reason or the main thing that we want to get the answer to tonight is we're going to give Joey a nickname. So basically, we've had a few chats behind the scenes, and I'm known as the Cap, and Jono's the Bigsump, and Joey felt a bit out of place with no nickname.
Well, that's right. There's plenty of other blokes that have got nicknames as well, like, Matty Langford's 1945, 45 with his cap off, 19 with his cap on. Killer, Steve Killer Kanowski, everyone's got nicknames. I don't get one.
Have you ever gone through without one? Like, have you got a little preview of some things you have?
Mate, well, look, used to get average, average Joe. So that's, and I used to think, well, at least I'm not below average, so, it can't be too bad. But yeah, that's about it, mate. It's always just been Joey.
Yeah, just Joey straight off the bat. Have you ever had a Tim? You called you Tim for the Tim Allen, Tim the Tool Man?
No. I've definitely been called a tool, but not a tool man.
Yeah. No, so whack your ideas in. Joe Allen, Gay Boy, straight off the bat.
I was going to say, they're coming in straight away.
So a few of the boys, we've got the post.
That's the armpit calling the arsehole hairy, that one.
Yeah, I've never heard that one either. So I thought calling the kettle black was the last word.
Yeah.
Excellent, guys. So, yes, we're going to try and give Joey a nickname tonight. Atomic Joe, there's another good one. We're going to talk about all things fishing and all questions to come through. So, guys, so the people know you. For the people that might not know Joe, behind the scenes, you're involved heavily with Frogley's Offshore, which run a couple of different brands. You want to rattle off those brands really quickly for me?
Yeah, Joe? Sure. So we're the Australian agents for Gamakatsu, Fuji, Kershaw, Bass Day. Plus we also own Samurai and Atomic. Also import Major Craft as well. Just to name a few. So yeah, we've got a lot of good brands in our stable, some really good quality gear there. And pretty much any tackle shop in Australia has our gear in it. So
awesome.
It's a pretty busy job. But it's it's enjoyable.
And your official role these days, Joe?
National Sales Manager.
National Sales Manager. So you go, you've got all your crew below you, and they go out to all the shops. So whenever you see any stuff in the shops, basically that's what you used to do. Now you've stepped up and gone to that next level.
Yeah. So I used to be a rep on the road and really enjoyed that. That was a great job. Did that for 4 or 5 years or so. And great job when you're a single bloke like I was. Without kids, I should say.
Yeah.
and without really many commitments. It was good fun, getting to travel around and meet a lot of good people in a lot of good shops, getting a lot of inside info on how the different regional areas fish and getting to fish with them. And then situations changed, and this kind of role became available where I spend more time in the office. Still get around Australia a fair bit, but just most of the time I'm in the office, which means I'm at home with the family a bit more as well. So it's
which you have to do once you've had kids. It's all about being at home. So I know I used to love when you used to come up to the dams and visit. You're very knowledgeable. So for anyone that's got any questions, doesn't have to necessarily be about Joey's brands. Very, very knowledgeable on questions, whether you're buying a rod or anything, lures of choice, or from the whole east coast of Australia, any of the dams and waterways. Joey's pretty good at it. Bigsump, give us a little bit of rundown about yourself. You steer a train, I believe.
Steer a train. Actually, more likely in the office these days. So I'm actually what they call a trainer driver now. So I'm training and assessing train drivers. So
you're not a train driver; you're a trainer driver.
Train driver.
We've had this talk. I know that we get together quite regularly these days. In the last probably 2 years, more than anything else, fishing the freshwater masters and getting to travel on the road. That's a comp where we fish 3 different species, so we travel a lot together. We're all on the radios having a chat. I did have to bring up. We had a really long chat about this train driving and how hard could it possibly be to drive a train? Isn't it just forward and backwards? But it gets quite technical. How long does it take one of those coal trains to stop, did you say?
Probably around 1.5 Ks, 2 Ks. We're sort of pushing 10,500 tonne fully loaded. So, yeah, it's literally not just putting your brakes on the car. So we've got sort of 90 odd carriages, or what we call wagons, full of coal, and it's just not the easiest thing to stop. So
a little bit heavier than the Stratos.
Yeah. and do you have a guy on the back waving a flag at you?
No. We just got 2 up the front, and away we go. And most of the time we run around the Hunter Valley here and carting coal back to the power stations just out of the side of Muswellbrook.
Yeah.
Or straight down to the boats and away to overseas in China, and away it goes.
Excellent.
What I think's awesome is that when you're in year 3 at primary school and they say to you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And there's so many boys, girls as well, but majority of them are boys. Say, I want to be a train driver. And Jono's that bloke. He's living. I was going to say,
I pushed that right through to year 10. I told the English teacher I didn't have to listen to it because I was going to become a train driver, and here I am.
Mate, living the dream. That's what we all say, living the dream.
You work hard and grow a good beard, you can drive a train too.
We got a couple
more to go on that one.
Yeah, we got a couple more names coming in. We've got Big Country. We've got Atomic Joe. We've got Catfish Joe. Mitchell Cones calling you Stallion. I don't want to know how he knows that. And Mick Johnson, Ugly Kid Joe. So there you go. We've got a few. So you've got to pick it. So make sure that you remember the good
mate, it's not me picking it. It's majority rules.
All right. We'll try majority rules. All right. And as I said, you guys behind the scenes, you mightn't be. I know Jono's building his social media profile. Mm-hmm. I know Joe, you're reasonably quiet because your role keeps you very, very busy with that sort of thing. So for the guys and girls out there to understand you guys a little bit better, I've got 13 questions for you. Just yell out the answer as quickly as you can without thinking about it, all right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Ooh, we've got to double up. Pizza shapes or chips?
Chips.
Both. It's food. Crocodile Dundee or Wolf Creek?
Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, we got a separate there. Yeah. All right. Kanye West or Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks.
Neither. Cod or Barra?
Barra.
Oh,
I've never caught a Barra yet, so I can't say Barra.
Yeah. Roast lamb or roast chicken?
I was going to say, I like a chicken, but I could go lamb either.
Yeah.
Don't get this big eating nothing.
Tomato sauce or barbecue sauce?
Barbecue.
Both.
Bon-
anything with food, mate. Just put me
Just
down.
keep going. All right. So we've got bonfire or nightclub.
Bonfire.
Bonfire. Whiskey or rum.
Rum.
Did we get an answer, Joe?
I'll have both. I don't mind. Yeah.
Both.
Goes in and around my mouth, so both.
Barbecue or restaurant.
Barbecue.
Cats
Barbecue
or
restaurant.
barbecue restaurant. There you go. Cats or puppies.
Puppies.
iPhone or Android.
iPhone.
Ooh. And pineapple on pizza. Yes or no?
Yes.
Food. I'll eat it.
Food, yes. So what we've established out of that is you only a little bit different for both of you, but don't be fighting them for their food because you're not going to win that one.
No.
That's it. Oh, we got another one. Cotton Eye Joe. Joker Joe from Simon. What else have we got? We got another one there from Langer's got a good one there. Smoking Joe Fraser. So there we go, and we've got an agreement on the pineapple as well. So, look, guys, I think my son's actually the dedicated person to draw the postcode, and he sent me a message. So I just want to check this. The postcode winner is Simon Jackson from Leeton 2705. So if you want to know how I randomly pick your postcodes, is the fact that my son's inside watching this live and he actually gets on there. He's 11 years old. He gets on there and he actually chooses one at random that he actually likes. So Simon Jackson, you've won the postcode prize tonight, which will be a genetic lure. And you'll get the Corey's Dam fishing sticker as well. So what you need to do, Simon, is send me your address via a private message on my page, and I will get back to you. So that's really good. Lloydie Brown reckons Joanne.
Not bad.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
So you can.
I'm just going to run and grab my reading glasses. So
yeah, mate. Yeah, go for it.
I'll be back in a
I was
little
going to say, it's looking a bit squinty there.
Go for it. He kept quitting on it. So let's get some questions coming in, guys, while we're talking to these guys. Hey, what's been happening out at Glenbourne? Give us a rundown out at Glenbourne there, mate.
Glenbourne, I was out there about a week ago, and they've just started to push into their winter pattern, plastics and jerk bites. I spoke to Nick Price there this afternoon, and I spoke to 40 this morning that actually was lucky. I wouldn't say lucky enough. He's fishing really well at the moment, and he won the Pro Bass Family Bass out there on the weekend. And he said the majority of his fish come on plastics. The Z-Man Slim Swims, he said. So,
yeah.
I found them. I struggled on the edge last weekend, but found them sort of in that 20 to 40 foot.
Yep.
I'm not exactly sure where they got them or if they got them really shallow or not, but it's fishing pretty well. It's starting to push into that real winter pattern.
Yeah, and look, we've been talking off air. You're going to try and get to one of the Queensland rounds of the ABT. You haven't decided which.
Yeah. I'm probably pushing towards Somerset just because I've never been to both, but it's just that speed limit on Wivenhoe is probably sort of just pushing me towards more sort of the Somerset.
Yep, excellent. And we've got a couple more coming in here. The Big Pumper. We've got Joe Lean, Deadeye Joe. And yes, Bo Everly, who bid for the auction a couple of weeks ago. I think he won the auction and the money went to our charity. That's the thing about fishing. And he had his charter on the weekend with 40 or last week. And he had a really good time, sent me some photos through as well. So Glenbourne must be going all right. We've got our first question here, probably directed to you, Joey. Best tip to catch bass in rivers during winter?
Well, it depends how you want to really catch them. The thing with winter is they tend to be bass on the move. They're getting ready to do their business.
They spawn.
And it depends in Queensland. If you're in an estuary that's tidal, you're actually not allowed to target bass in winter. So it's actually against the law. You can get fined for actually even just fishing for them. If you're above a weir or a dam where it's non-tidal, which means those bass can't spawn, not a problem. You can go and fish for them all year round. In New South Wales, the law is that you can't have bass in your possession, so you can actually still fish for them, but you're just not allowed to keep them in your live well, whether you have them alive or dead, or in your freezer at home. It doesn't matter. You're just not allowed to have them at all. So there's a bit of a there's a bit of a movement from a lot of older guys in New South Wales that you really shouldn't be targeting bass in the rivers in the closed season. And look, I've got two views on that. One is, I think if you target them where they are spawning in a deep sense, because what they do is they'll get into your deep holes around your bridges and your big drop-offs and your big corners and stuff like that. Well, then, yeah, look, maybe you shouldn't sit there and smash them and pull 100 out of a school, which is so easy to do in winter. They're very easy to find, and once you've found them, they're very easy to make them eat your lure. But I kind of feel if they're up on an edge and they're feeding, well, you're not really throwing them that much of a curveball. You're pretty much just catching one on a crankbait or a spinnerbait or a top water. I don't have too many issues with that. You want to catch and release, then that's fine. And I think in winter time, you probably just need to start looking, where those schools of fish are, the areas around that, the likely structure around that. If they're in a big hole over there, chances are when there's feeding time, and you've really got to work out what part of the tide that feeding time is for them, they'll probably be up there on the bank feeding, because they're over there doing their business. And I know what I'm like after a good night. I get pretty hungry the next day. I'm sure Big Jono does too.
Once again, we've got this food-orientated show tonight. That's all good. But I agree. And so, with the river bass, like I'm not great on the river bass. Do you find that you still get those resident bass that won't come down and spawn?
Absolutely.
The river? Yeah.
That doesn't matter what. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't matter what species of fish it is, whether it's brim or bass or whatever. Not every single fish travels every year to spawn. That's just as simple as it is, So not every bass from 100 k's upriver will travel down to the brackish water to breed. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, you'll definitely get those resident fish upriver that have sat on that snag for a while, and they'll probably sit there for a lot longer as well.
So are we pushing through like spawning now, are we, Joey? Because I've just noticed Glenbourne in the last week to two, it is absolutely pumping out of it. Like they are probably can't let any more out of it at the moment.
Yeah, okay. So the thing
hopefully that's going for the fish than just other people, but it's absolutely pumping.
How far is Glenbourne from the ocean river-wise?
300
or 400 k's.
Yeah, well, you're going off, like for me to drive straight down the highway, you're probably looking at 120k to the sort of mouth of the Hunter River, somewhere there.
Yep.
You'd have to literally probably double it by the time, if not more. Like I couldn't tell you.
So when they open the dam walls, the water would get there pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, I went over the bridge at Singo the other day, and it's pumping through there as well. So it's been going for a good couple of weeks now.
That'd be good for them. Yeah. All right, we'll get Jono to answer this one first. Paul Langley's asked, what's the best way to fish weedy edges? What jig head setup, whether it be weedless or traditional, would you use for that sort of thing, Jono?
So possibly more at the moment with Sinclair. Glenbourne, I sort of, in my time up here, I haven't really seen a lot of weed. There is patches of it, and you can fish it sort of somewhat the same, but Sinclair, you find a lot more weedy edges. I tend to stick with the 1/6. I know a lot of people go a lot lighter than that. Sort of the brim blokes are used to fishing lighter than that and can fish lighter. I sort of haven't dealt much into the weedless part of it. I just find a 1/6 and pretty much ripping it through the weed with a little paddle tail does pretty much the job for me.
Yeah. So break it down. All right. So this show's about teaching people and whatnot. So break it down to the basic, not for a tournament fisherman. When you're saying rip it through the weed, are you've got a thick mat. We'll make the situation a thick mat of weed there on the bank. There's about 15 feet of weed, and you're sitting out there. Do you cast it right up into about 1 foot of water and then rip it through? Is that what you mean? Rip it through the weed?
Yeah, sort of somewhat. You're trying to pick the sort of little pockets of not so much thick weed, but with that retrieve, if you are fishing the thick weed, you're going to have to come through it at some point. So basically just trying to pick the pockets to start with, land it in there. The sort of bass will sit in the weed and sort of have a look at something, drops in sort of a little bit of a vacant patch.
Yep.
And you're just getting it moving, and then as it comes through the weed, if it gets fouled up, you just got to give that quick rip.
Rod tip high, or are you going rod tip low?
I'm sort of more a rod tip high, like sort of shaky retrieve.
Yeah.
Probably similar retrieve. I do a lot with a jig fishing as well, but it's basically just a quick rip, and hopefully you get it back and it's come back pretty clean. But if not, you clean it off and you send it back in there again.
Yeah.
When I first started doing the comps, I struggled big time with fishing this sort of way, and it was only through watching sort of Al Mack and Greg Beattie and the blokes that were doing well with it. Like, I sort of stuck to more deeper fish, but they just weren't the quality. And then I basically just started going out there, and you got to get it in there.
Yeah, and learn from those. What about Joe? You got any other tips for that question?
If you can find a defined weed line, that can be kind of amazing, because the weed, especially in wintertime, it tends to hold a lot of warmth, which will then hold a lot of bait fish, which is why there's a lot of fish there. So if you can find a defined weed line and fish kind of parallel to it, that can
work
be
as well.
amazing.
Because sometimes that weed might go down to sort of 10, 15 plus foot. Like, it can be thick and be fairly high up. So, yeah, like Joey's saying, that is a way as well, sort of keeping your bait parallel with the leading casting. Sort of cast.
And the other thing I've had pretty good success with over the years is not just weed, but where you might have weed and lilies combined, lily pads combined. There's a few dams up this way that, the lily pads and weeds just everywhere. They're not dams that you can take big boats on, so they don't get the wash that other dams do to clear that out. So a really effective way to fish them is actually with really lightly weighted weedless or unweighted weedless plastics, and you kind of you get the bait moving quite fast across the top. Something with some little flappers off the back or some tentacles or something that makes a bit of movement to create a bit of noise, and then when you hit a hole or a pocket in that weed, just to kill your retrieve. So you're going quite fast until you hit a hole or a bit of an edge, and then just kill it, and you just watch it float. And it's a pretty cool visual way to fish. If the generally the dams that have weed will be the clearer water dam, like the visibility in those dams will be a bit better, and seeing the fish come out of the weed and actually absolutely smash your plastics is pretty fun way to do it.
We all love that visual surface. Anything where you can see the fish. I just spent the weekend up at Dartmouth, and it's probably clearer than Glenbourne at most times in how far you can see in the water, and to see fish swimming through it was just amazing. All right, let's go to the next question. Handsome Joe, Smoking Joe. G'day, boys. G'day, Wally. Right, Troy, another guy that supports the show. So, Troy, are you best to go upstream and chase trophies, or look for some residents in the river?
That's a Joey question for sure.
So, if we're talking about social fishing, it depends on like if you know the river well and you fish it all the time, then if you're just out for a bit of fun, go and chase heaps, because there's nothing better than catching fish. Like, doesn't matter whether you've been doing it for the first time or your 100th time on the river, just catching fish is fun. But if you've been targeting them for a while, then you kind of want to work out where the better quality fish are. So you probably want to go and chase your big fellas. But if you're talking about in a comp, I think it's a similar principle that I was just mentioning, where, like, if you don't know the river very well, just try and catch some, and then, you know, work your way up from there. Work out how to catch the smaller ones, and then you might work out where the bigger ones come from there. But if it's your local river, and I've bombed out on the Richmond, which is where I, grew up. I've bombed out there a couple of times just chasing bigger fish. You come back with, one or two little ones, but
this has been a common two-bladed question throughout the 12 episodes. All the tournament guys have the exact polar opposite views on this. Tommy Slater on the other week, Dave Welfare, they're all go and catch your bag and then worry about the bigger fish later. And then you got your guys that just swing for the fence and go hard or go home. So it's you got to pick which field you're in.
Yeah, it's a big call with all that. Like I'm new in the sort of 4 or 5 years I've been doing bass tournaments, and you see people that do go for the big fish, they'll have that 1 or 2 brilliant comps, and you might get lucky and have a handful of really brilliant comps. But from what I can pick, the most consistent, and all of them always go out and fill a bag first.
Yeah. And I'm not one of those guys. I'm not that consistent dude that, he's always up there. That's not. Where does
it for you, mate?
Look, I appreciate the guys that can do it. It's amazing when they do it. So we've got a question here from Aaron Lawson. What size rod do you use to rip the rubber through the weed? So what are you using for your plastics there, Jono?
It's not real heavy at all. Sort of your 2 to 4 pound. I'm using a Baker's rods. He looks after me, and I'm using sort of a fast action. Sort of, you want a little bit of power in the butt, but you sort of only light tip, so you can rip that lure through the weed. And when they do eat it, you got that, you can sort of pick up on them when they do. Fishing sort of weed at Sinclair, you don't need a heavy rod. You're sort of using 6 to maybe 8 pound if you want to push that away. I'm sort of 6 and 6. If it does get caught up in it, you might just have to motor in a bit closer to get it out, but you pretty much look after it.
Yep. Joey, what about you? What do you use to rip your rubber?
I'm still stuck on Jono likes a bit of power in his butt. I haven't moved on from that yet. I'm pretty similar. I use a 2 to 6 pound Samurai reaction, 7 foot extra fast taper. Pretty simple. It's an all rounder. You can fish for bream with it. You can fish for bass with it. But they do have a good bit of power down low, and I'm pretty sure that's probably the same blank that Pete's built that rod for you on, Jono.
I've got one that's built on a Samurai that I use pretty well on plastics, and I've got a couple of as well. So,
So, Joey, I know we talk a lot about rods and stuff like that. Once again, for the basic, for the novice, for the guy that's not out there fishing tournaments, what do you mean by fast taper? What's the actual process with fast taper?
So fast taper or fast action, the action of a rod basically means how fast does that rod get to its power. It doesn't have anything to do with power. Power is a total another separate point or separate issue. So an extra fast action or extra fast tapered rod means that it gets to the power of that rod very, very fast. A slow tapered rod will get to the power in that rod, in that lower section of that rod, slowly. So if you're looking at a curve of a rod, like that way, an extra fast will generally only bend in the top little bit of the rod, probably the top quarter of the rod, and it will already be, so it'll be like, be kind of bent like that. Whereas a slow taper will be much more of a parabolic curve, and it will get to the power in that rod a lot slower.
Yep.
Again, has nothing to do with power of the rod. Power of the rod basically means how much can the rod bloody lift off the floor. So if you've got a 2 kilo weight, can that rod lift it? Yeah. and you could have 5 or 6 different actions in or tapers in the same weighted rod. They still all lift the same weight off the floor, but the way that they do it is what the action or the taper is.
Yeah. So fast action for fast hook set.
Fast action, yeah, generally for fast hook set or for baits that have single lures, like a soft plastic, where there's only one hook going into the fish. So you want to get that hook into the fish pretty quickly. And a slower action, so like maybe a medium fast or a medium action for things like crankbaiting, where there's treble hooks.
Yeah, awesome. That's great.
Yep.
Zach saying thank you. Let's go. Nicholas Bruni has said that it was a release for the fish, apparently, Jono. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't want the water going to waste. If we're going to send it down there, But apparently, I was talking to Nick today, and they got about 30 mil up on the tops last night, so there should be a bit of inflow coming into.
Yeah. All right. So Bill's another one that asks a lot of questions on the show. So I'll bring Bill's question up here. What would be the best way to break down a new lake or river that you'd never fished? To start with you, Jono. If you go, say, all right, so you're going to maybe Somerset, never fished there. How would you start your process from now until you get there?
Pretty much research. But It's in front of a computer, looking at past events around the time, or just past events at all, a map of the joint, and pretty much talking to people if I can without it's sort of funny with talking to people because you don't want to pry too much information out of people if they might do the event.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically research and finding as much as you can online to start with.
Do you go onto social maps and have a look at contours and stuff like that around? You don't have to download it. You can look at it on your computer. Yeah,
so I don't know. I've never been to Somerset, so I just go off on. I hear a lot about Pelican Point, so it seems to be a place where most people start. So I'd sort of look around that area of what sort of Pelican Point might hold, and then sort of try and look at other areas around that might be similar, or it might be big flats or something that you're fishing up there, chasing bait by the look of it. And then, because I haven't done a lot of the sort of stuff you do up there, I'd want to hope that I can get a decent pre-fish with a bit of confidence. Because I'd like to say I'd try to fish to my strength, which is more jigs and stuff like that, but possibility it's not going to be a big success up there, even though I think one of the comps up there was one up in the timber not long ago fishing sort of that timber up in the river, I'm guessing.
Yeah, look, and mate, don't be frightened. I mean, you can get caught in the things. I'll give you my tip for Somerset right now is for years and years and years, spinnerbaits and TN60s were the go-to at Somerset. They still work, mate. Don't write them off. So yeah.
I'll probably go back to I did a Cania Bass Nation 2 years ago and went up there, never been there. Got out there for pre-fish and it fogged out till about lunchtime. So I literally just idled from the boat ramp, and when the fog finally cleared, I was like 200 metres from it. I was like, didn't even know where I was. And I tried fishing the spoons and that while people doing, and in the end, I just went in and fished an edge. I actually had Cam with me, and he loves his jigs as well, and we sort of went in and got onto a jig biting, and it stuck for the whole weekend, and I ended up finishing just outside the 10. So.
Yep. Joey, what about yourself? How do you break down a new waterway that you haven't fished? There's not many waterways you probably haven't fished, but, what would you do? Is it a visual thing after you, when you've got, we'll talk with you when you've got there. Is it all visual or do you use the electronics?
But you got to take it all into account. But I think the one thing that a lot of people overlook is actually going to your local tackle shop. Most of the time your local tackle shop will give you the best broad knowledge. I'm not talking about specifics like go to this point, throw this lure, blah blah blah. Because you're not going to get that from many people, and if they do tell you that, chances are that you're probably not going to catch anything off that spot anyway. But your local tackle shop, there's some pretty good ones around the place, like down where you guys, down where Jono is near Glenbourne. You got Nick at Aberdeen there. He services both the shops. Up this way. With Mo and Somerset being quite close to Brisbane, there's Mossop's in Brisbane, Tackle Warehouse, and then Charlton's. They're all the pretty popular ones on the south side of the.
Hey, can I interrupt you there? If you haven't been in Charlton's for a look,
yeah,
it is worth it. What a magic little store that is.
Yep.
I've never seen anything as amazing as what they've fitted into that little store. It's pretty cool, eh?
Yep, the lure wall's pretty cool. It's on
sliding.
Yeah, and they got a whole lot of stock in there that you probably don't see it at other tackle shops. Also Robbie up at Somerset, he's got a little demountable tackle shop on the dam at Somerset. So, and then on the north side of Brisbane, you got Tackle World Launton, which is a bloody sensational tackle shop up there on the north side, and then Jones is in close to the city. So, like those tackle shops have people that fish those dams on a regular basis. If they're not fishing the dams, they're talking to people that are fishing the dams that have been out there on the weekend. So there's all those and it's in their best interest to give you some kind of information, because if they give you the wrong info, you get the shits and you don't want to go back and see them. So,
tell you one store I did used to ring all of the time was Fishing Bits. The guys at Fishing Bits, they were so cool. And I found, I need to put my disclaimer out there because I've had a tackle shop of my own, but I found the guys that actually have a tackle shop that are attached to their own products are more likely to be that guy, like you said, that just wants you to say that lure at that point and you'll try and catch a fish. Whereas in the guys that have a really big range of lures and don't try and sell you one specific lure for the job are the guys that are going to give you the truthful information. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Calissa, another big question here. So let's see if we can get this one out. I'm a river bass angler, but I've chased bass in the dams in Queensland. I honestly need more advice to fishing without trolling, using blades and spoons. What advice can you give me for a beginner?
You can fire off, Joey.
So we're talking about she's wanting to. I'm a river bass angler, but I've chased bass in the dams. So she wanted to catch more bass in the dams?
Yeah, pretty much. So Calissa's on every week. She asks some really good questions. She's won some prizes. She loves to fish with her kids, but has been stuck in that troll sort of zone and just getting into the casting and stuff like that. So just a few tips maybe to help her catch a few more fish.
So I find Queensland dams in particular, the bigger dams that we fish in tournaments like Somerset, Boondooma, Wivenhoe, they're while you can catch a lot of fish off the bank at certain times of the year, the better consistent catches come from deeper spots. So you probably need to work out how to use your electronics, your fish finder or your sounder. If you can learn how to use one of those, even just in a very basic manner where you know what a fish looks like on the screen. So when you go over the top of it, you know that that's a fish and you know that it's not a bit of a tree or something like that. I would say that in the dams in Queensland that I just mentioned, using your electronics or learning your electronics is probably the most important thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be the top of the range Garmin, HDS, Hummingbird. You can have just learn how to read a contour or a bed line or whatever you want to call them, and find that deeper water. And I know a lot of the old fish, you struggle to even see where the fish are, but that's not what you're looking for. Is that what you're saying? You're looking for that creek channel, that long flat.
Yeah. So you want to. Like you said, it doesn't matter how expensive the unit is. They're all going to tell you something, and you've just got to work out what that something is that it's telling you, and then be able to decipher it as you go around the dam. That's the biggest thing I think in the Queensland dams, without a doubt.
A big thing I've learnt years ago, before sort of sounder technology took off massively, because I used to be a troller pretty much like most people learn as, and it was always troll until you found a fish. If you find that kind of fish, you know there's fish in that area. So even if you don't have the most brilliant sounder, you can sort of work an area, and if you can sort of cast and just time on the water. And if you happen to pull a fish there, you keep working it. If you don't, then you go back to your trolling and keep going again.
Yeah, and I know Calissa fishes quite a lot. She's quite an avid fisher person, and what I think my suggestion with Calissa is start collating your diary. So write in what everything was doing on the day that you went fishing, whether it be good or bad, so you can go back years to come. I know guys have been running diaries for 10, 15 years, and they can go back and they just look at March last year, March the year before, March the year before that, and they can come up with a plan before they get there. But I do like Jono's tip for a social angler: troll until you find the fish. Once you've found them, stop and learn how to cast, because you know they're there.
You don't need the best sounder. Like if you can pick up somewhat of a fish on your sounder, and sort of troll along till you find a patch, and then if you pick one up, troll, and it's got to be more. Like I said, I'm sort of answering for Queensland dams. I haven't been there yet, but from everything I've seen, they're pretty much schooled up in a similar area. So I'm going back to sort of redfin fishing back where I started. Sort of we'd troll till we found a patch, and then you'd cast, and then if you didn't catch them, you keep moving again.
Yep. No, excellent. Well done. We've got a Joe Licious as a name, Joe Licious, and Dave Welfare's a previous guest on the show reckons we all. What is it? Do you need a beard to be a fishing guru? So we've had a couple of beard questions for us tonight.
I think he's running one at the moment, so the answer is yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Chunk off him.
All right, Rodney O'Sullivan here. What rod and reel do you recommend for bass? I know this is a long-winded question. Let's go New South Wales bass for Jono and Queensland bass for Joe Licious. Now, with the answers, let's break it down for the basics. So, have you got one rod and reel to go out and buy? Is it a bait caster? Is it a spin? Give us a breakdown for the average Joe.
I'm probably going to go one of each. So if I could run sort of, if I only had to have two rods, I'd have one spin rod that I could fish light plastics and blades with. So you're 2 to 4 pounds. I sort of like the 7 foot, 7'2", sort of fast, extra fast taper for them, like we went through before. So we can fish those really light plastics to the edge, or if you want to fish a little bit deeper. And then my other go-to would be something of a bait cast, sort of, what am I running, about 3 to 5 kilo maybe, I think it is, off the top of my head, that I could fish a jig, TN60, mask,
still do a bit of trolling with.
Do a trolling if you want to troll with, sort of 150 size reel, 100 maybe. And, that's sort of, I'd probably run 6 and 6 on my spin, maybe 6 and 8, possibly pushing to 10 pound leader if you're fishing pretty solid timber. But and with my other rod, I'd probably run 10 pound braid and sort of 10 pound leader and push up around that 14 pound if I was fishing jigging pretty tough timber.
Yep. All right, Joey.
Pretty simple, I think. A spin rod, 7 foot. I don't need those extra 2 inches like Jono. 7 foot with a 2,000 to 2,500 size spin reel, 10 pound braid.
I'll take every inch I can get.
10 pound braid, 10 pound leader. That's gonna do you for most things. If it's just a one rod and reel setup, that's got to be it.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree, and I probably wouldn't need to go for length either, Jono. But it's look.
I was going to say 7. I was only most of mine are 7. I can't. I struggle to fit a 7'2" or bigger in my locker. So
I'm just more about power than length.
12 inches. So no, and I think for the average Joe, you don't really need to go too long. They're fitting it in a tinny or whatever. So too long a rod makes a bit of a dangerous.
And I think we've, over previous weeks, I think you said, that sort of 10 pound braid, 10 pound lead, like Joey just said, is pretty much an all round thing. Like you can get away with most things.
Yeah.
Maybe even if you want to go 10-pound braid, and then if you weren't getting the bite, maybe step the leader down a bit. You could do that as well.
Yep, we got Joshy Cop on there. He's just put jealous. I think he's jealous of our beards, guys, because he can't grow one. We've also got Dale Sinclair would like to know any beard maintenance tips. So yeah,
I've probably got more stuff on the shelf and in the shower than the wife does.
yeah. Look, what's another question here? We've got Joel Watermer. If I'm heading up from Victoria to target bass for the first time, which dam would be the best starting point? Now, I'm not sure if Joel's saying that he needs to stop in at, say, a Glenbourne or Sinclair, or he's going to drive straight through. So you cover New South Wales again, Jono, and Joey, because you've been up to Queensland, you cover Queensland. I'll chuck mine in first, Joel. If you're going anywhere and you want to chase bass, go to Kenya. It is well worth the drive. Kenya is my pick of dams in Australia for bass. So there we go.
Yeah. Probably Glenbourne. And the only reason I say that's not so much the fishing. You've got a bigger dam, better facilities, and you have got phone service here if you need it as well. Sort of
kind of dams without that.
Yeah.
But, Sinclair fishes brilliantly, but sort of Glenbourne, you can do a bit of everything. They got it's a lot bigger area with sort of, you got your steeper banks, your shallower banks, and I'm a bit biased. I live 13 k's away from it, but either really, like, depends what you want to do. If you sort of probably go what you sort of prefer. Like if you prefer and want to try fishing weedy, shallow points with jerk baits or plastics, I'd probably go to Sinclair. But then if you want to fish sort of deeper water and a few different techniques, probably Glenbourne.
Simon, and probably another, Glen Maggie and Blue Rock in Victoria. If you've been to either of those and you've targeted bass there, very similar to the New South Wales waterway. So that's if you're confident there, you'd be confident in Sinclair and Glenbourne. What about you, Joe? Queensland dams?
I like to go. There's a couple of little dams just this side of the border, so still in New South Wales, and then a couple just over the border in southeast Queensland that I think I wouldn't say they're easy places to fish, but they're the type of place that you can go, and if you've got any kind of lure fishing knowledge, you can go and catch a fish on. You don't, like we were mentioning before about electronics, you don't have to be, top of your game. Places like Toonambar Dam out near Kyogle, Clary Hall near Murwillumbah here, and then just over the border, Lake Maroon, just near Bow Desert. They're the type of place that if you've ever thrown a lure, whether it's a little crankbait for brim or a jerkbait for flathead or a top water for whiting or brim or anything like that, you can pretty much take those techniques to those places and you can pretty much catch bass on them as well. And they're beautiful places to go and visit as well. So Clary Hall is electric only. You can't even have your petrol outboard on the back. Toonambar, you can have your petrol outboard on, but you just can't do more than 8 knots. And then Maroon is open slather.
Yeah.
Probably just breaking that down a little bit, like I was saying, probably it'd be more so what time of year it is as well. Like, if you want to go sort of probably winter bite now, from what I'm seeing, they both fish well. Probably later in winter, the Sinclair's probably going to do better and probably better quality fish. But then the jig bite at Glenbourne come spring's pretty off the chart. So
yeah. All right, let's go with next question. We've got one here from Nick Brown, another guy that asks a lot of questions on the show. What boat setups? What's more important, a better sounder at the console or the front? So it looks like Nick's going to look at setting up a boat. Do you think that I roll reverse? I've actually got my HDS Gen 3 up the front. And I've got my Carbon 12 at the back because I codfish a lot. The front sounder is not as important to me anymore. But when I go to Queensland or whatever, I'd want to run the Carbon up the front and just the 9 down the back. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'll jump in first on that one, Jono. I think whatever style of fishing that you're doing, whichever one you're looking at the most, have that one there. I mean, I'm lucky in that the 2 sounders that I have are identical. So I think there's a big advantage of having 2 identical sounders in that they're both the same running wise, so you don't have to learn two different things. But if you had to say if your budget only allowed for a smaller one up the front than you could have one small one and one big one, I would put if it's a dam where you're going to fish a lot of deeper stuff, I would have the bigger one at the back, because the biggest thing I find is actually finding fish. I think the fish are relatively easy to catch once you've got them, but you can't catch them if you don't know that they're there. So if it was a place where it was quite hard to find fish, I'd have the bigger sounder at the back, because that's where you're going to do a lot of your time in the seat of the boat, looking at a screen, trying to find them. And then once you found them, you can use your smaller screen up the front to actually fish for them. But I'm lucky. There's a Simrad Evo 312 right there, and it's pretty sexy.
Yeah, they are great looking, the great screens and everything. Jono, what's your answer to that question?
Well, at the moment, I'm running a HDS Live 12 at the front and a carbon at the console. I find that works pretty well. I run the same 3-in-1 active image and transducer front and rear, but I find the carbon does enough for me for the console, finding structure or just sounding up fish. And then the front sounder, the reason it originally went at the front, because I was looking at getting the Lowrance Livescape, but I haven't gone to that yet. But it's definitely a better picture, and you spend most of your time at the front. So I find the carbon does enough for me at the back. So it's sort of what works for you. I've been on plenty of boats with other people, and they're running a 12-inch sounder on their front deck and a 7-inch at the console.
Mate, it comes back to what we were talking about before. It doesn't matter what you've got, whether it's a $500 sounder or a $5,000 sounder. It does not matter. Like, for instance, there's a bloke who lives not far from Glenbourne, Steve Richards, who doesn't fish many comps anymore, but he still, uses 2 little Humminbirds that they haven't made for about 10 years. I think one's a 797 and the other one's a 798 or something like that. They're about that big in the screen, but he knows what's on them, and he knows that when he pulls up and looks at something, he's like, "That's a fish. That's a fish. That's a tree." So it kind of
he knows
that's more important. Yeah,
he knows that, and it's sort of as well. It goes to, like, obviously I know Richard as well, and whatever going out, and like the majority of dams, he's fished a lot for a long time. So, like you're saying, he can pick what it is, or he's got his spots pretty much sorted. But like I said, whatever works for you. If you can pick up the fish on a small sounder and have the one at the front, the bigger that you can see without having to break your neck all the time to look down at it, you're better off.
And Nick, look, from my view, if you're budget conscious and you're tossing up between, say, putting a 7 on the front and a 7 on the back, my personal preference would be buy the 12, put it on a swivel mount, and so you can turn around, face the front or the back. I know you've got to turn around to look at it when you're up the front, but that's just purely my view on it. If you can afford the one good one, just run it on a swivel mount, mate. That's mine. Let's go back through Charles, Nick. Adrian's just answered. Calissa's there. Yeah, Adrian, good point, Calissa. Just go out and jump in with one of the AVT rounds, and you'll learn a heap out of doing that. There you go. Dale Sinclair reckons your description is the best one he's ever heard for the simplifying tapers, Joey.
Yeah.
There's a bit of man love coming through there from Dale.
All right, we've got Mark Cook here, who I took out on the weekend. We had our trout challenge. We won't tell you how the results ended up on that. That will drop on my YouTube channel very soon. But who are your biggest influences in your angling life? We'll start with you, Jono.
Pretty much like most people started. It started with my old man, and started with trolling as a young kid. We used to troll for hours and days, and over at Wangler catching trout, and then sort of went from there. Started looking up at blokes like Matthew Mott and stuff like that for AFC, and then joined the AYC, and then I started looking at blokes like Dave Welfare and the much that he's helped me a long way. So, yeah, I remember going to a comp at Keep It, and we struggled all weekend to even get a yeller. And Dave Welfare, he's like, you just got to throw blades. I'm like, I didn't even know what a blade was. He went to his box, give me a handful of blades, and away we went. And been good mates since.
So we're just having a bit of stir here. I'm just whacking. Yeah. I was given some instructions of whacking some of these photos up here, Jono. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I'm running that bloke.
There you go. He was fit as a fiddle way back in the day.
Yeah, most capped junior rugby league player for Parks, I was.
There you go. Look, your family is obviously a big supporter of yours, mate. I know your dad, what a wonderful man he is. And I did get a text message during the week from your mother, and she wanted me to, give her a bit of a shout out on your behalf. So she sent me through some photos. The ones that she actually sent first, I didn't put on because she sent me back some fishing ones later on. So you can thank your mum for those photos.
Yeah. Thanks, Mum. She'd be watching. She said she was going to.
I forget what question.
I'm pretty happy that my mum has no idea who Corey Goldie is. So that way.
I got nothing from your lovely partner or your mum, Joe. I've got nothing to hang on you. So who was your influence? Was it, what's his name? Sven the pool cleaner? What was his name?
Let's be clear, there's plenty of crap to be hung on me. It's just good that you have no idea how to get it.
It could happen in the future, but there's a lovely photo of your twin brother there.
Yes. That was, I think that's me trying to be Chopper Reed or something.
Looks very Chopper. What happened to the rest of your chest?
Well, see, I'm not like Jono or you hairy beasts, even though I do grow quite a bit here, clean the rest of it.
Clean the rest of it. So let's go on to your influences, Joey. Who is your biggest fishing influence?
Same as Jono. I started fishing with my dad. He loves it. He probably doesn't get to fish as much as most, the same. It doesn't matter whether you're golf or fishing. Everyone loves it. They just don't get enough time to do it. But it probably wasn't until I was in my late teens, around 18, 19, that one of my really good mates who used to fish tournaments, we started kind of throwing lures around, had really not any idea what we were doing. And I think it was about when I was 19, I fished my first Bass Electric event. And that was where I met other local guys in the area, like Adrian Melchior and Rod Shorten. And I'm still good mates with those guys to this day. And that was, going 17, 18, almost 19 years ago. And then met Bretto in the middle at Ballina Bait and Tackle when he started his shop in Ballina about, I don't even know, that'd be 15 years ago, I reckon he's been there. And once you kind of talking to people about that style of fishing, it becomes all-encompassing and kind of very addictive, and then you'll never have any spare cash for the rest of your life. That's the way it is.
Talking about that, Bretty's shop's quite an amazing little shop there at Ballina too, isn't it? He's got a fair bit whacked in that little shop.
Whole lot in there. Yeah, and he's have about 4 weekends in a row of car park sales, just to get rid of it. But no, he's got a heap of gear in there. A lot of good gear too, and Bretto's a tournament fisherman himself, so he likes to have the good quality stuff in there because, he likes to use it. So
you got to have your free tackle store.
Exactly.
You got another couple of names, Average Joe and Toey Joey. So whack them on the list.
Makes sense. Yep.
Let's go. We'll leave that one. Dave Welfare. One lure. Oh, I'll put this one up, actually. One lure for the rest of your life. What's it going to be?
Bass Day Sugar Pen 70.
Really? Yep. That was quick.
If I was fishing bass, it'd be
No, mate.
No.
One
One lure. One lure for the rest of your life.
TN60.
TN60. Mine's a Halco Twisty. I don't think I could go far away from a Twisty.
Catch some good Taylor on that one.
Yeah, that's right. That's dead right. Young jobber. There we go. Zach, young Zach. He's pretty keen little angler. What bass jigs do you stay neutral colours, or you do the complete 180 flip and go your whites and fluoros for your jigs? Let's go Jono first.
I'm dark 90% of the time, or even probably 99% of the time. I'm either a dark black or dark green or a black. Maybe go as light as an olive. They work pretty much all the time, and it's just more confidence than colour.
Yep. Joey, what about yourself?
Yeah, this. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but dark jigs matter. You know. No, they. So you think about two things. A lot of guys, when they're throwing a spinnerbait, will throw something light or with a bit of flash or something like that. But that's generally because you're throwing a spinnerbait to imitate a bait fish. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you're throwing a jig, you're not really imitating a fish. You're generally imitating a craw or a prawn or crayfish or some kind of grub that's on the bottom or very close to the bottom. And most of the time, those things are fairly natural and dark in colour. So, that's probably my little input there, is that dark for jigs or natural for jigs, and, natural but kind of getting closer to a bit of flash with your spinnerbaits.
Yep.
I know a few people like 40 and such have had pretty good luck on some chartreuse jigs and that have been playing with it. And I just prefer that. It's more confidence for me. It's
and I'm the same, mate.
Yeah. I've run pretty much dark, like you said, a dark trailer.
Yeah. I've got plenty of fish on top water lures for brim, bass, whiting, jacks. The old Elton John style. Like pink, purple, yellow, and green.
Yep.
And you think, what the hell does that even look like? Mate, colour catches fishermen, not necessarily fish. But,
I was amazed last weekend watching the AFC with Langers and Coney, and Langers throwing the lime chartreuse gulp for the sooties. And I went, oh, that would have been the last thing I would have picked up chasing sooty. So, there's always the exception to the rule. Talking about Langers, he's got a question here. What's your most memorable fishing moment? We'll start with Joey.
Yes. Well, probably one really recently, actually. I've got a 2-and-a-bit-year-old daughter, and actually watching her reel in her first brim on a surface lure, that was pretty cool. She may not have been that instrumental in the hookup, but it was pretty cool actually being with her when she was reeling it in and telling me how big a fish it was, even though it was only about 20 centimeters long. It doesn't really mean anything. But she thought it was that was pretty cool. Probably the other one, I won a teams comp on the home river at Richmond a couple of years ago. That was pretty good. Coming back to the weigh-in, we didn't think we were even, we thought we may be in the top 5, maybe. Just based on other tournaments on the venue in the recent years before that. But that was pretty cool, winning one on your home waterway.
Yep, John.
Probably have to go back. It's one you haven't pulled a photo of that. Probably go back. We're on a houseboat at Bateman's Bay. I couldn't remember. I was probably 14, 15. And this boat come past, flicking stuff, and they were just whirling in one at a time, and I had no idea. All I'd ever done was trolling, so away I went, flicking a stump jumper down Bateman's Bay. Had no idea. Anyway, got a fair way away, and I chucked out the back and started trolling back and hooked a metre 20 dew.
Oh, really?
On basically a Jarvis Walker Big W special. I don't know how I got in the boat, but
Oh, Jarvis Walker.
floating around with me with a sailor's hat on. Someone he didn't find it.
Funny
Hey,
you mentioned the stump jumper there, Jono. That was actually the first lure I actually caught a fish on as well. It was a little flathead down in North Creek in Ballina. I think I was about 14. I think Mum had dropped me off on the side of the bridge and came back and picked me up a couple of hours later. And
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no idea how to get off the lure or anything like that, but it was pretty cool.
It was great to explore back in the day, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then like Joey just said, probably pushing through to me kids now. They're the two young ones. They love it, but yeah, probably. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, they can get a little bit more sort of safer with it anyway. So I don't end up hooking. They got hooks flying everywhere and that, but they love it.
No, that's it.
I just got a message from Dave Welfare saying that $10 to take our tops off.
Yeah, I got the same one before.
I know. He said
Dave Welfare wants to see him with his top off. Oh, there we go.
Well, see, I'm kind of thinking. See, John, I was thinking, well, $20 is $20. So, like, we might as well have it rather than him have it. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, look at that one. That was a bad day. That one.
That obviously was a bad night, mate. That was a bad night.
No, that wasn't even a bad night. I think that was about 5, 6 in the half.
Look, we got another one for the name, Joe. After Alan Swallies, she could be called Chico or Jelly Baby.
Yeah, as long as it's not called Choco.
Choco.
Yeah.
All right. Keep the questions coming. I'm starting to run short on questions here, guys. We got Ricky Mundy. What's your best blooper?
Just give me 2 seconds. I'll run back.
You're right, mate.
Okay. My best blooper was actually at Boone Doomer in a comp. I think it was the first one of the year a couple of years ago in about February. So it's pretty hot up there in February. The water was pretty clear at this time as well. I reckon it might have been. Oh, you were still up there then, Corey. So I reckon about 3 years ago. I think it was the comp that Mick Johnson won on the rock wall.
Yes, yeah.
From the campground, and I was way away from them. I wasn't in the crowd. I'd been upriver, up what's the left-hand arm there? Corey, what's that one? Stewart arm, that's right. I can never remember the name of that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with my left. I just never remember which one my right is, but I've got my left down pat. Yeah. But no, I think I'd been up there, caught small fish. I didn't catch any big ones that weekend, but I'd come back down just near the boat ramp. So there would have been plenty of people around to see this, and I'd in one motion taken a life jacket off to throw on the seat after pulling up, and kicked a combo over the side of the boat, which was a Samurai Infinite worth about $600, and a Megabass Gauss 20X worth about $1,000 over the side as I was taking this life jacket off. And as you do, like, I just jumped straight in, had hat, sunnies, phone in my pocket, but being, you were giving me a bit of snot about this before, being that it's a Samsung, it's waterproof, so that didn't matter.
Yeah.
Got the rod and reel back. Didn't lose sunnies off the hat; they still stayed on there the whole thing. And I got to have a swim because it was middle of summer. So, winning,
getting the rod back. There was a bit of a scenario down here just recently in one of the comps at Mulwala where I'll leave the fisherman's name off the list, but forgot to strap his rods down, had all his rods on the deck, hit another boat's wave and lost all of his rods and reels. Going full noise. So that was lucky to get that one rod back. What's your biggest blooper there, Jono?
Oh, biggest blooper. Well, you seen one blooper that I had last year at the Freshwater Masters at Glenbourne. I was fishing the same bay as you, and I went to lift my hat and I dropped my sunnies in, so I went swimming for him.
And it was freaking freezing.
Here I am, and all he had was a splash, and looks over, and here I am in the water.
Who would have thought, watching whales at Glenbourne?
I'll tell you what went through my mind is we just had a quick chat as we sort of passed each other on the way past on the electrics. And you know when you're electric along quite fast and you hit a stump and the boat jolts. What I seen out the corner of my eyes, that's what I thought had happened to him. He was going along quite fast, and then all of a sudden he's just gone straight over the front of the boat. I thought he'd hit a stump and he's just fallen forward. No, he's trying to save the sunnies.
Yeah, I got him. But no, probably the best one was a previous Masters a few years ago. I was fishing with a bloke, Bruce, and I jumped in the boat. He's like, righto, we'll take you down to the ramp and we'll back you straight in. And we're sort of sitting up the top there, sort of where everyone camps, sort of down the front. And he's just swung around this tree sharp and just wiped his trailer out.
Oh, shit.
And just kept going. Got down the ramp. I said, you dickhead, you just wiped your trailer out. He's like, no, I didn't. I said, have a look at your guard. The whole guard smashed in, hanging off the wheel. And
Well, look, I won't go into too much detail of my blooper, but there is a reason why I'm called captain, and there is a reason why the number 27 is on my back. But we won't go into great detail why that is. It might have had something to do with a few birds, but we'll leave that one alone.
27, Casey Stoner, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's supposed to be 72. That's my year of birth, but they mixed it up when they put it on the back of the jersey. So, look, I'll pay you $20 to leave them on.
$20, Jono, you beauty.
Yeah.
What happened to catfish, Joe?
How about next question? We can get a good question up. I've got some stuff here today from Nick at Aberdeen Fishing Tackle. Got some packets of plastics there, some Nikes, little 2-inch. Oh, where are we? Little 2-inch, like a Key-Tech, and some other little Japanese ones he's got there.
Right. So,
can I ask a question here? Can I go into this?
And he give me a bit of Dizzy scent there. That's a local bloke out of Musselbrook's got that now, and he's trying to promote it a bit as well.
Yeah.
So, Jono, where did the nickname the Bigsump come from?
Bigsump. What is it? What is a Bigsump?
I don't know. I don't want to go into it.
Well, it's a big thing full of shit normally. No, I come from back in my footy days. One of the parents of one of my mates started it, and it just stuck, and I've run with it, and I enjoy it. Most people don't even know what my real name is now.
Yeah. Look, it took me about 8 months to realise that you were the same. So
I was going to say, it's not so much Bigsump anymore. It's sort of more Sumpy or Wee Sump. Or
yeah. I used to get Mudguard. Yeah, shiny on the top and shit underneath. Yeah. So, your missus is actually on there saying,
yeah, I can see that.
Rodney O'Sullivan, good question here for you, Joey. Frogley's Offshore ever going to bring the Gamakatsu team series out in 2021?
We'd like to. The biggest thing the biggest problem we have at the moment, Rod, is actually having someone to run them, so a tournament director. So, I think that fishing tournaments are important. In the way that they help with the tackle industry as a whole. But the hardest thing is actually finding someone who knows how to run the tournament. I want to fish them, so I don't want to run them. Michael Starkey, who owns Frogley's, has a young family as well, so he can't do them all. Plus, he's a mad fisherman, like all the rest of us. So if he gets a chance, he wants to fish them as well. So that's probably the biggest hurdle, is actually finding someone to run them, Rod. So if you want to stick your hand up,
Give Joey a call. I have to say for Michael Starkey too, look, you don't have a dog and bark too, so you got to have some benefits of being the boss.
Yeah.
All right, we've got some other questions. Troy Lowe reckons that for your missus that the postage will be cheap, mate.
Oh, don't worry. She can get a credit card anyway.
There was another good question here before I lose it. Just a quick one. We were waiting for a few more questions. Jono's giving away these prizes, guys. So get these questions in.
I've also for another question, we've got some gangster lures there, some sump baits that I've designed as well. We've got a handful of them to give out as well.
Ooh, sump baits. Well, Troy, there we go. Dale, so if you could fish for only one species of fish for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'll let you go first.
I don't really know.
Well, I'm going to say if I can only fish for one to keep me alive because I've got to eat it, then it'll be whiting because they're good fun to catch. You can catch them on lures, you can catch them on bait, and they're great to eat. They're as good on the chew as you can get. If it was purely just one fish to catch for fun, it'd be bass because the way you can catch them in so many different styles, and they fight pretty good.
Yep. Jono, what about yourself?
Well, I was just thinking I'd possibly say barramundi, but I'm yet to go fishing for them, so I wouldn't know how well it'd be. But like Joey said, bass are pretty all-rounders, but then I enjoy fishing yellers as well, but that's more so a spring bite I enjoy. I'm not one of them ones that like fishing the trees as much, so probably bass, yeah.
If we're keeping it fresh water, it'll be Murray cod for me every day of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was salt water, like Joey was saying with his, it'd probably be flathead. Main reason being is flathead are all the way around Australia, which means I could go anywhere and still go fishing.
And they're good on the don't mind if they're flathead.
We'll give Dale these plastics and the Dizzy scent.
All right. So, Dale, you've won that prize. Can you please send me your details and I'll forward it on to Bigsump to get that out to you. We've got another couple of questions here. Mark Richards, probably, not a relevant question to anything else, but maybe, Joey, you can answer it. Yep. What happened to the Ballina comp?
So the comp he's talking about there is the North Coast Fishing Bonanza. The problem with that one, Mark, was the council in Ballina, I'll be blatantly honest, they're pretty hard to deal with. And there's another big comp that we run each year at Evans Head, which is the Evans Head Classic, which is actually run on private ground in the RSL on private land. So it's a lot easier to run with regards to council restrictions and approvals and stuff like that. Yeah. The one in Ballina, we ran that on. Actually, it's on a council park, and at times it seems like for something that is so good for the community, it seems like they almost don't want it to happen. So
yeah, it's amazing when you're dealing with councils and tourism is such a big thing, and you've got people coming from everywhere. That's quite a big shindig, and they seem to you're pushing shit uphill most of the time.
So, Mark, we are hoping to get it back. We've actually been in talks with a couple of different venues that are privately owned that we may be able to get into. So just stay tuned, mate. We'd love to bring it back, just because it was so good for the town.
Paul Langley reckons it should be brim for us. Don't lie, we don't fish for brim.
I've never caught a brim on a lure.
Joey fishes for brim. I don't.
Yeah, I love it. It's good fun. I wouldn't say it's my favourite one to go, but there's nothing wrong with it, mate. They're pound for pound. They pull hard. If you chase them on light gear, they're good fun to catch.
Yeah, no.
Nothing wrong with chasing brim.
No, I'd rather chase flathead. Sorry. Listen, Nick Brown's got this is another great question. Would you rather win a high-paying individual tournament or win an AOY for less prize money? So I think I suppose an example, would you prefer to win the Oz Open or the ABT AOY and really get, next to nothing for it? But this year they're giving a boat away, so I shouldn't say that. So, yeah.
Well, for sure it'd have to be the AOY. You've proven yourself over the whole year, not just in one tournament. It's far away from me at the moment, but that's my thoughts on it. Like individual tournament, hopefully I'll get there one day and win it. But if you can prove yourself that you're the best in the Bass over the whole year and possibly even do it over 2 years, you've proven yourself pretty well.
Jono, I just want to give you a bit of a plug here, right? You're only 4 casts away from winning a tournament, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Or 5 if 5 is 5 Bass limit.
If it's a 5 Bass limit, you're 5 casts away from winning the tournament. Don't stress, mate. It'll come. What about you, Joey? You're
only one cast at Wivenhoe or Somerset. Some of the fish are easy. I've actually won a Bass Electric event at Wivenhoe with one fish.
Oh, seriously?
About 10 or so years ago. Yeah, it was a stonker. Mate, I would be the same in that it would be the angler of the year, without a doubt. I'll probably look at it another way. Yeah, it'd be cool to be that consistent for the whole year, but it'd also be cool to have that much time to be able to put into doing the research and the pre-fishing to then be able to have the results to go your way. And that's a fair few years off for me at this stage, but yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that, like yourself, that really can't fish for a championship. You pick and choose. You've got your Gamakatsu stuff. You've got your other stuff that you go and do. Then you've got family, so you can't really fish a whole series. You can't just dedicate just to bass. So I've got the solution here. The Lake Mulwala Native Classic. Let me read you the prize money for this for next year, Joe.
Okay.
It's based on 60 teams. First place 30 grand, second place 15, third place 10, 7.5 fourth, 6 fifth, 5 6, 4 grand seventh, 3 grand eighth, 2 grand ninth, $1,000 10th, Brandon door prize of a Lowrance Ghost or a 12-inch sounder is another prize as well. So I'm going to have to say, if I was in Joe's shoes, I'd be fishing for the one-off tournament win there. But in my case, I'm lucky enough that my handbrake lets me go to most of the comps. So I have to say that I'm lucky I can fish a series. It's probably going to be my last series, but yeah, I'm going to go.
We've got blokes like Graham Ford, like. Don't take away, and Matt Langford, and there's a lot more of that as well. Like they deserve all the accolades they get because they put the time and effort in that a lot of people can't do. Like and time and effort comes with a lot of money as well. So sometimes if they win a tournament, they're only covering the money they cost.
Yeah, that's right. Not even that most of the time. So
the time as well.
Shane Eastman, what's your PB bass? And what lure did you catch it on? It doesn't matter who starts. Who can rattle it off the top of their
head? Mine would have been at Somerset Dam a long, long time ago. This is in a tournament we're talking about. And it was on the second day. I think I was coming about 4th or 5th overnight. This is back when I was a non-boater. Caught this thing. I had a great day. It was I think it was about 2006 or 7 when the drought actually had kind of just finished that week. Like as in, we showed up to the dam on the Thursday night, absolutely pissed down the whole way up there. Friday we showed up. They'd put a temporary ramp at the spit on the right-hand side of the spit. Put the boats in there on the Friday morning. When we pulled out the boats at the pre-fish Friday afternoon, we were using the other ramp. That's how quickly the water was using.
Yep.
I think it had gone from something like 18 or 20% to about 40% that day, which is a phenomenal amount of water that's gone into that place. By the Saturday afternoon, I think it was up at about 60%. And we would the bloke I fished with was Cole Singleton. On the Sunday, he's an old veteran of the old tournament scene. He doesn't do them much anymore. And I had a cracking day fishing behind him. And I just, it was one of those, I caught fish after fish, probably had 8 or 10 in the boat and decent fish too, like in the mid 40s. And then we've come around this point, and I'd said to Cole at that stage, I was like, mate, I'm going to sit down. I've had a great morning. I don't even really care where I come. Like it's just one of those good days fishing. And by that time, the rain had stopped. It was beautiful blue skies. Cole only had one fish in the well, but it was a decent one. We've come around this point, and he kind of called me all different names under the sun and told me to take my skirt off and get back up fishing. So I did that, and I reckon within like 10 casts, I've hooked into this thing, and we just knew it was massive. I think that was back in the days where there weren't 3 kilo fish, 3.5 kilo fish in Somerset. A big one then was, 2.5 to 2.7. And I hooked into this thing, and I think it went, I can't remember whether it went 2.57 or 2.75 or something like that. It was the biggest bass I'd ever seen, by a long way. And I then actually did sit down and didn't fish anymore for the rest of the thing. On the way back, Cole's going, mate, you've got big bass here for sure. You're going to go close to winning this thing. And I did jump up. I jumped up to second spot, but I don't remember who it was. There was a girl who was fishing the composite on-boater as well. It was the only bite she got all weekend, and she pipped me by a couple of 100 grams for a big bass. And but yeah, I think it was 2.7 something like that. 53 to the fork.
Donkey.
Yeah.
Jono, what about yourself?
Cania Dam. You actually had a picture of it in your intro there. It was second session Bass Nation, 1 point something kilo and 48 to the fork. Caught it on a jig, and I was fishing with Austin, and he seen a little tick on my line. He's like, "Was that a bite?" I said, "He's already bricked me," and he had me bricked. Anyway, I just started motoring in, and he just swam out. And by that time, I had line wrapped around me rod and reel and everywhere, and I had to handline it in. If you want to scroll through me YouTube or me Bigsump fishing page, there's a video of me actually handlining it in, and yeah, it got me big bag for the session actually. So
your biggest fish come from you actually pulling it in by hand, anyway.
Yeah.
I've seen a 60 plus come out of Kenya, Forger, on a pre-fish day.
Yeah, some good fish there for sure. We'll give while we're going there, I'll give Shay 3 sump baits.
Rightio, Shane's on that one. So if you've
got a cod there, so he's hopefully down cod territory.
Yep. Awesome. That's great stuff. So we haven't got a lot of questions coming through, so we might start to wrap things up. We're getting close to the end. We've been on for 90 minutes now anyway. That's really flown. I've just got a message too from Harry that Mum's home safe. So Mum's home safe. So that's all good. I'll get in there and give her a big hug and a welcome back very soon. So not that might fix her migraine. They might have given him some good painkillers. So Shane said thank you. So have you won any prizes so far on the show? Make sure you send your address and details to me on my Facebook page. If you don't send them, I'm not going to chase you up for them. So make sure you send them through. Joey,
there is a good one there just before you. It's for Jono. It's from Richard Gear.
Richard Gear. I can bring
skirted jigs, chatterbaits, or spoons for Jono. What's your go-to at Glenbourne?
Skirted jigs, 100%. I fish them pretty much 80% of the time of the year, except for now. And it's not that I haven't thrown them now; they just don't seem to work. So I've fished them right through summer now. So most people gulp bite, and I've caught excessive amount of fish just fishing jigs deeper, and they're my 100% go-to lure, pretty much 80% of the time. In the spring, I'll run a crawl trailer, either the Z-Man or I've got some flapping hogs off Scotty Hutchison. I'll run them as well. And during the summer or other times, I'll just run a gold grub on it.
Yeah,
you're pretty good on the on the tin. Yeah, how you reckon you'd go up against Scotty Hutchison in a bit of a drink off?
In a drink off, I don't know. He does pretty well. He drinks them green cans. I'd end up looking like that video, that clip you've already put up of me, the picture.
There is not a home in hell I'd even challenge Big to a drink because the man drinks strength like it's Coca-Cola.
I tell you what, I brought him unstuck. I got him on the sump juice at Marwala.
Oh,
You did too. That was last
year. The year before.
Yeah.
The year before, I think, and he spewed everywhere and went home.
Yeah. No, keep him on the beer and he'll teach you. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, guys. So we've given the prize away. Please get in contact with me. We need to name Joey tonight. Does anyone have any preferences on what they thought?
I was wanting something back, but I can't troll back that far.
You can't troll back that far. Listen, mine actually, which is a shame.
Joey Licious, that was it.
Joey Licious, yes. Joey Licious was good. My top three were Joey Licious, Jolene, and Smokin' Joe. So they were my top three.
Actually, Adrian Melchior's just put up one. Joey Big Bass. That is one that I have been.
I thought
called
Big Bass
the
Big Bass title was already taken in the bass scene.
Head down, bum up. You can't call me that, Tim Steinhouse.
JBB, Shirk. Yeah. So
I feel like the bearded burglar on like the one over the
Joe Dirt.
Mick
Johnson.
I think Mick Johnson's just beat Matty Langford's Smokin' Joe with Joe Dirt. I think
Ricky Monday. That's not bad, Ricky, but I'm not green. I'm not bald, and and I'm not 400 kilos. But it's a good name. Yeah.
All right, I think the winner's going to be because we're going to have to call it stumps, and it's coming right at Matty Langford. I think had it at Smokin' Joe, and then Mick Johnson coming with Joe Dirt.
Really he does like to come from behind, I think. So,
well, I've got 3 more of these left, and I'm going with Joey Licious. So whoever sent Joey Licious, get
all right. So we'll go back through, and Joey Licious will.
Your young fella, Harrison Goldie. That's not bad.
Harris has done really well. Sloppy Joe.
Joe, that's not bad.
I'm going to give Harry a prize for that one. He's done well for an 11-year-old.
They're coming in hard and
look at
fast.
Them all coming in. Jig and Joe.
Jogging Joe.
Yeah, I think we're still going with Joe Dirt. I love it. Joe Dirt, Mick Johnson. I will send you a prize off, mate. I've been asked. Here's so if I can get this here, some flutter spoons from Nichols. Jimbo Jones up there has donated them as a prize. So I'll get you a flutter spoon. I've got your address, Mick. I will send you up a flutter spoon for the, what was it? Joe Dirt. That's right. And Harry, I'm going to give you a prize for that one as well. And we'll dig back through whoever sent through. What was yours, Jono?
Joey Licious.
Joey Licious. So whoever sent Joey Licious through, if you're still on watching, get a hold of me and I will get your details to Bigsump. So
and then we got Shay and we had who else? Dale. Yeah, get us through your details and we'll get some stuff for you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thanks for the donations, guys. Thanks for the world of knowledge. It's been a wonderful, fun talk again. These shows for me go really, really quickly. That's nearly 96 minutes. We've been sitting on here chatting. Fair to give, it doesn't feel like 15 minutes has gone by. It's been great fun. So I'm really enjoying it. Next week, we're going somewhere different. We're obviously staying on the freshwater and tournament scene, but we are going co-boaters. So we're going to talk to a couple of co-boaters about all things co-boating, and you can ask the do's and don'ts. You can ask secrets of what their boaters have done or whatever it is we have. And this one's going to be fun because he's been paying out on all the guests so far. We have got Tim Steinhouse on next week. So everyone's going to pay out back on Tim because he's been hanging on everyone so far. And I've got Nicholas Bruni. So we're covering Queensland and New South Wales again for the co-boaters. But they're not just co-boaters. We don't want to downgrade it. They are gun fishermen within themselves as well. So thanks, everyone. Do you guys want to say anything?
Yeah, just before you run off there, if anyone wants to follow me on Bigsump's Fishing, I've been talking with Pete from Baker's Rods that looks after me, and we're going to get a bit of a giveaway going the next couple of days. So if you want to get onto that, you'll have a chance to win some cool prizes too.
Yeah, and Pete does a wonderful job making those rods. They're all made together. So, I know a lot of the guys are out there using them. So get on to – now it's Jono Bigsump Fishing, or is it?
It's just Bigsump's Fishing.
Bigsumps Fishing on Facebook. Get on there and make sure you like, tag and share and do all the right things for that one. Joey, you got anything you want to add before we go?
No, mate. It's been fun. Thank you.
It's been fun.
Joe, that's your new nickname.
Thanks,
Joe Dirt. Thanks, Bigsump. It's been wonderful to have you all on again. Thanks, everyone, for answering and asking questions. And we'll talk to you again all next week. Don't forget to keep your eyes out. I'll be dropping the day one edit in the next few days. So thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.